Okay folks, I'm sure you have seen this mould by now. I've done a video with it recently and it's a Temu bargain and everybody seemed to really like it, and I think a few people have already got it. I don't know whether it's a new mould or what. I certainly only noticed it recently. So I thought we'd have another play with it. And what we're going to do, this is probably an obvious one, is that we're going to do the raindrop effect. Now this has been around for a while. It went viral, this technique, a good few months ago now. But this to me was just crying out for that technique. So what we're going to do with our little frog is we're going to put some raindrops on. Now, because of the shape of this mould, I have a horrible feeling that the drops will run down into the, because it's slightly dished. So I'm going to zap each one with a very small ultraviolet torch between each drop. So we're just going to get some raindrops. There's a tiny fly bugging me here. I do apologise. I'll keep flapping at it probably. Now, yes, so before they get a chance to move, I'm going to zap them with this torch. So we have a drop. Even if I only zap it a bit, just to stop it moving. And we have a drip. And I'm just going to keep doing this. Now, don't panic about ruining your mould. I've found time and time again that as long as I go and clean the mould thoroughly afterwards, then really I've not had any trouble at all with this particular UV resin. All the soft ones that you can get, they don't seem to cause any problems with your mould either. So all those are now set. So they're fixed in place. Now the next thing to do is to get some colour into the frog, and this time I'm going to be using a little bit of a white sparkly one from Just For You Online and some lovely colours. These are mica flakes from Resin. I've got two different shades of green, and then I've got this one that sort of flashes pink and gold. And the other thing I was going to look for was for something for his eyes. I'd kind of like a bright orangey colour. This is also from Resin, and this is a normal mica powder. There's no fancy colour flip with this one. So let's see how it looks. So I'm going to use a bit out of the lid because I want to try and get just into the eye area, so I don't want to go too crazy with this. There we are, and there's a bit of eye up here that I discovered last time. So that's it for that colour. So this is just a lovely pearlescent powder. And we're just going to take off, I've noticed I've got a couple of little bits in here that I didn't want, so we'll just take those off with a wipe. And also, there we are, just where I've got the powder, a little bit where I didn't want it. So that's that. Now, I was thinking we'd go in with this pinky one around his feet. And let's see if it sticks as well as the ones I used the other day did. Yeah, we're in there. Get in. And as you can see, I'm being quite liberal with it, because if it goes over, I'll just clean it off or use some tape. The only thing we're going to have to be very careful with, of course, is not dislodging the those dots that I've put on, the raindrops. There's his little feet. Of course, we've got his little back feet. Well, do frogs have hands or do they have paws? Do they have hands and feet? I always think they have hands and feet more than paws. Because I think of paws more like sort of dogs and cats and, you know, furries. Because rabbits even have feet, don't they? I'm rambling, sorry. Ignore me. Now, as I said, I'm going to try to get off the surplus. Again, just using my wipe, but without dislodging those raindrops, which I should be able to do. And I'm going for a lot more colour contrast with this one as well than I did last time I did this mould, which, as I say, you may have seen that video by now. Because I used a lot of green and I didn't get much colour contrast with the leaf. So this time, as we've got more colour in the frog himself, I'm going to go for a lighter green, I think. And I'm just probably going to go for a pearl rather than a chameleon, because we've got quite a lot of chameleon going on here already. And I'm now starting to wish I'd put the raindrops in after. That might have been easier for the clean-up, mind it. Dunno. If you try this, you might want to put your raindrops in after you've done the detail of the frog. I don't know. I'll put you the links for everything I'm using, as usual, down in the description below. Now, don't forget, I've got a discount code for quite a lot of this. Not for the mould, it's a cheap one anyway. It's from Temu. I have got an affiliate link, but I don't think I'm earning anything off it. I'm not sure. I've not seen anything yet, so I don't think I am. Really ought to check these things, hadn't I? Anyway. There we are. But yes, so that you'll find that if I've got a discount code for you to use, it will be down in the description below as well. And I certainly have for just for you online and for Let's Resin. And now, I think what I want to do with this one, let's get another brush. I want to try and give him a light speckling of this sort of white dusty powder on his back, just a speckling like that. Now, I don't know whether that's too much, we'll see. I just wanted to give him a little bit of more variety than I did last time. Okay, now the green. I've got a bluey green and I've got a greeny green. What colours do these flip through? That, oh, look at that. Yeah, we're doing that one. And again, I'm going to go in a bit splash it all over with this, because we've already got our base colours in. And at the moment, I haven't got any black polyurethane resin, because that would have been a nice quick way to do this mould, wouldn't it? But I haven't got any, so we will just be using epoxy. What I'll be doing is using the 2-hour cure one. It's the Apex one, I think, because then we shall get some quick results. Right, I'm going to have a clear up, and obviously I need to wipe the surplus off the mould again, so I shall be back with you shortly. So what we need now is another colour to just go in the back there, and I'm looking for really a lighter. I do want a colour shift, but lighter. So what have we got? Okay, I've decided not to go with the colour shift one. I couldn't find like a light green that I was looking for in a colour shift, so I've gone back to the idea of not doing a colour shift. So what we've got is a normal, just a normal mica powder. It's a nice pearly one. I was going to put it on with that brush because it's nice and big, but I can't get it in the neck of the bottle, so that isn't happening. So I'm just going to clean up the brush that I was using previously, which I think will go in to the bottle. And of course, now we've got to this stage, we really can just go all over. So this should be a nice pearly effect, even if it doesn't colour flip, which I think was what I was thinking in the first place, to give more of a definition between the leaf and the frog. Now I'm going quite gently because I don't want to dislodge my little raindrops still. But obviously I can just chuck it all over like this. Still thinking on which resin to use. Actually, because there's so many little fine nooks and crannies, I might just use a regular slower cure resin, just so that I can kind of make sure there's no bubbles in there. That's the only drawback of the really fast cure ones. You have to be really careful with the bubble situation, because they are of course a lot more they're thicker, so your bubbles can stick more to the mould. There we go. So that, I hope, will be all over. I've certainly used plenty, haven't I? So I don't know if I've mixed up enough resin here. I should have checked how much it used last time. Putting in some black pigment, because that's what we usually back our pieces with. And the resin that I decided to use, yeah, I've just gone with a normal one. It is my Apex High Gloss. Nice, simple, 1-to-1. Should cure. Well, it'll be done by morning. It's what is it? It's about 10 o'clock at night now. It's supposed to be a 20-hour cure, but I usually find I can demould it a lot quicker than that, especially if the room's warm. So that is stirred up quite well now. And it will degas all on its own. It just does. So let's chuck it in. And there we are. Judged that just right, didn't I? So I shall see you for the demould. In the meantime, can you see how the back of this, I don't know if you're picking it up in the light I've got in here at the moment, because it is, as I said, late at night, but the powder is, the surplus powder that's in there is starting to go across the back. It's lovely. So I'm going to clean my little plastic knife up, and yeah, I will see you in the morning. I like what these powders do on the back. Here we go. Let's see if the raindrops worked. Should have, shouldn't it? It's a technique we've seen before, let's face it. Oh yes. Ah, yeah, and the frog stands out. Although I've kept the green, he stands out an awful lot better because I used a different sort of powder on the leaf. Now, of course, as people have pointed out, it could be one of those poison dart frogs. So he could be any colour. And the leaf, is it really a lily pad? It looks more like a monstera leaf, so we could have a variegated one. And anyway, we can do whatever colour we want, really. So we can make him stand out even more if we wanted. But I just wanted here just to have a play with the raindrop technique on leaves. Isn't that pretty?